Hello, welcome to Goodnight Flagstaff. I'm Tom Verstraete. My wife and I were mystery readers for my granddaughter's first grade class, and we liked that so much we decided to start reading for Goodnight Flagstaff. Thank you for tuning in to our story time. You can find a new chapter from one of our family-friendly books at 8 p.m. each weeknight on the Literacy Center's YouTube channel and on Crater Radio, a local online radio station. The previous chapter is replayed on Crater Radio each weeknight at about 7:45, just before the new chapter airs. You can also listen to all previous Goodnight Flagstaff recordings on YouTube. We are currently reading Race to the Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. If you'd like to check it out and read along with us at home, it's available in the Hoopla app with your Coconino County Library card. Check one out today. Please email us if you'd like to join our team of readers and connect with your community through stories all ages welcome. Our email is goodnightflagstaff@gmail.com. Last time we read together, Nizhoni wakes to find Black Jet Girl Chezin waiting for her. Black Jet Girl gives her a jet earring to take to the Spider Woman, and once she's flying towards Spider Rock, Chezin warns Nizhoni about an accident that happens. What could it be? Are her friends in danger? Chapter 25, On Top of Old Spider Rock. Chezin wouldn't say more about what happened, so I spent the entire journey to Spider Rock imagining the worst. What if Mac and Davery had walked right into a monster ambush? Up until this point, the land below has been all high mesas, tall, flat-topped mountains sprinkled with sage shrubs, creosote bushes, and cedar trees. But now we're flying over a lush valley. I can see corn stalks growing in the tidy rows near a stream, and smooth red rock walls are decorated with drawings. They don't look like much this high up, but I know they must be petroglyphs. We've learned about them last year in Mr. Lee's social studies class. I really wanted to get up close and take a better look. Where are we? I asked Chezin. This isn't the Grand Canyon, is it? No, this is Canyon de Chelly. We're on the Dineta now, the heart of the Navajo Nation. I've only ever been to Shinmasane. I explained. This is beautiful. We swoop down, skimming over the river that cuts through the canyon. Whoa, what's that? I ask. In front of us is the tallest, skinniest rock I've ever seen. It's standing all by itself in the middle of the canyon, looking like the Empire State Building made from red rock. That is our destination, Spider Rock. It marks the home of Na-Ush-Ye-In Azu. Is she nice? I asked tentatively. With a name like Spider Woman, it is highly possible that nice is not one of her qualities. I should have asked Mr. Yazzie earlier, but I was distracted by too many other things. Now, as we were approaching Spider Rock, it seemed like a very important question. Well, Chezin said, sounding thoughtful, there are stories. See those white streaks near the top of the rock? Some say those are the bones of children she has eaten. What? Mr. Yazzie never said anything about Spider Woman eating kids. I wouldn't worry about it. It's only the naughty ones. Pretty sure eating children of any kind is frowned upon. Somebody could have mentioned it, you know. You'll be fine, the herald says. She circles the rock as we come in for a landing. We're close enough now that I can see the figures on top. Two massive birds, one blue and one yellow, and two humans, Mac and Davy. After what Chezin said about the accident, I was worried that one of them was hurt or worse, but they looked okay to me. Mac has his hair hanging down his face and his hands stuffed in his pockets as usual. Davery walks calmly, or waves calmly, as Chezin settles in, and Oli and Zidi next to Zoli and Zidi. Once we've landed, I jump from Chinla's back and rush over to Davery and Mac. Unthinking, I go to Davery and give a hug, but he looks startled and holds out a fist instead. "Oh," I say, embarrassed. I'm sorry." We fist bump, ending with our three-part secret handshake. I mean, it's not like we can't hug each other. We've hugged before, but it's already getting a little awkward being boy-girl best friends, and hugging reminds us of that. So fist bump, secret handshake it is. I punch Mac in the shoulder, which is pretty much the same thing as a hug. Besides, it's payback for the earlier punch not pinch he gave me. I hope he knows it, because I'm happy to see him. But he sort of stumbles away from me, head down with his face still hidden behind his black hair. "What's wrong with you?" I can't imagine why Mac's being a party pooper. But little brothers are moody, especially artsy-fartsy ones, so I don't worry about it too much. "You want to see the black jet I got for Spider-Woman?" I take off my backpack and reach into the pocket. I carefully pull out the tissue containing the perfect white shell and black jet girl's earring and open it on the ground. "Let me see what you got." Davery comes over and removes a folded leaf from his pack. He unwraps it to reveal an abalone shell, perfectly shaped, as bright and glimmering as a pearl. "It's beautiful," I whispered, running a finger over the edge. It came from the shoulder of the guardian abalone shell boy. He said it was important to give it to Nausheda Iza, the best. Black Jet Girl said the same thing, I say. "Mac," I look up at my brother, "let's see your turquoise." He flicks his hair back and crosses his arm. "This quest is a waste of time," he mutters. "Like rocks and shells are going to get us anything good. We need swords or guns or something to fight with, monsters with, not a bunch of junk." I frown, surprised by Mac's words. "We are taking these gifts to the Spider-Woman in exchange for a map, not using them against Mr. Charles and his monster crew directly." "It's still stupid," he grumbles, kicking some loose rocks. Then the three heralds flutter nervously. "I think you should tell them, Mac, child born for water." It's Mr. Yazzie. In my excitement, I had forgotten about him. He emerges from the neck of Mac's hoodie and looks up at him, his face sympathetic. I plant my hands on my hips. "What's going on, Mac? You better stop moping and start talking." "Cleason said there was an accident. Is that why you're so upset? Did you have a bathroom accident, like that time at sleepaway camp? Dad said it's nothing to be ashamed of." My brother rolls his eyes so hard I'm surprised they didn't fall out of his head and bounce off the top of Spider Rock. "If I may," Mr. Yazzie says, clearing his throat. He climbs down Mac's torso and legs and makes his way over to where Davery and I laid out the gifts. "I'm afraid young Mac failed to secure the turquoise from Zuzi. He said he feels just terrible about it." "Oh no," I whisper. "What happened?" "Nothing happened." Mac stomps his foot, and 800 feet below us, the river that cuts through the canyon de Shea suddenly rushes faster, whitecaps rippling across the previously calm surface. "Watch your anger, Mac," Mr. Yazzie says. "The water responds to it." Mac looks both abashed and pleased, and then a little scared. Ancestral powers are definitely cool, but it's not ideal when you cause a minor flood by throwing a temper tantrum. We move back to the edge, and Mac flops himself down next to Davery, who has been sitting and watching calmly this whole time. Mac picks up the black jet earring, turning it over in his hands. "Sorry," he mumbles. "What happened?" "I tried, Z," he says finally, sounding like he feels crummy. "But at first, we couldn't find the guardian of the mountain. And then by the time we did, the storm was coming in. We got the turquoise, and I was holding it in my hand, but it was raining, and Doyley's feathers were slippery. When I made a sharp turn, I lost my balance, and Mr. Yazzie fell out of my hood. I couldn't grab him and hold on at the same time with only one hand. I had to catch Mr. Yazzie or save the turquoise. I chose Mr. Yazzie. And many blessings to you. Many blessings that you did, Mac," Mr. Yazzie says. I'm a very resilient horned toad, but even I have limits. One of them is not being able to survive a fall like that. It was my fault, Dolly says, sticking his large head between us. I should have warned Mac I was turning. No, it was my fault, Mr. Yazzie said. If I hadn't lost my grip, it sounds like it was no one's fault, Chisholm says, joining us. Accidents happen. But what do we do, Mac? Well, what do we do, Mac wails. We still need the turquoise if we want Spider-Woman to give us the map. Dad should never have made us do this alone. Davery frowns and opens his mouth like he's about to say something about Dad's kidnapping, but I shake my head and mouth. He doesn't know. You have to tell him. Not yet. But I gesture to my miserable little brother. Now's not the time to lay something as scary as that on him. Davery looks at Mac too, and his face softens. You're right, he mouths. Hey, Mac. I have some turquoise, I say, clutching my pendant, the one I wear all the time, the gift from my mom, who I now know was a monster slayer, or at least had monster slayer heritage that she passed down to me. But she's gone, so it's up to me to fight the monsters and save our dad. Are you sure? Davery asked me. I know how much that necklace means to you. Maybe we can go back to Zozie tomorrow and try again. We don't have time for that, I say. Besides, according to Black Jet Girl, I shouldn't be afraid to make a sacrifice. She said the things that mean the most to us have the most power. My necklace must be super powerful because it means everything. The heralds all make chirping sounds of approval. I hug Mac, who smiles weakly with relief. Or is it guilt? Davery gives me another fist bump. Okay, so we've got the gifts from all our sacred mountains. I say to Clayton, what's next? Clayton says, our work as heralds is done. We must return to the mountains in case our guardians need us. Na'ujede's house is just across the canyon. We will take you there. But you must continue your journey without us. I stand up and give Chisholm a hug around the neck. I think I already miss you. And I you, little hero. Now hop on my back for one last ride. The sun is getting higher and you are running out of time. The heralds take us across the gap to the rim of the canyon, beyond, and there they say their goodbyes. After they're gone, we head up to the road they say would take us to our destination. There's something you should know before we get there, I say, as we walk. Clayton told me the Spider-Woman used to eat children. What? Max says. That would have been good information to know beforehand, Davery observes. That's what I said. Nonsense, Mr. Yazzie scoffs. That's a story from long ago. You'll all be quite safe. He cocks his head and eyeballs at my brother. But just in case, maybe, Mac, you should stay close to me. Thank you for tuning in. Join us next time for Chapter 26 of Race to the Sun. Good night, Flagstaff.